This program produced by Union Pacific Railroad. Drink responsibly. Know when to say when. Drink in moderation. We've all heard these warnings before, and probably a few more. What do they actually tell us? Well, they are mostly warnings to keep your blood alcohol content below the legal limit to avoid or lessen drunken driving incidents and their costly and deadly consequences. In fact, for some of us, the more alcohol we consume, the less likely we are to know when to say when, especially if there's a designated driver. Don't assume because we made it home without an accident that we don't have a problem. For some of us, even moderate alcohol consumption brings serious long-term consequences, and some of us should never drink under any circumstances. It's true. We can experience alcohol-related long-term health problems without ever exceeding our blood alcohol limit. And for this reason, we need to educate ourselves about all the dangers of alcohol consumption. 0, 1, 2, 4. How much is too much? What are the long-term health risks? For starters, sleep deprivation, psychological disorders, weight problems, cardiovascular disease, liver disease, cancers, birth defects, and alcoholism. The list is much longer. For some of us, alcohol consumption is an ongoing part of our lives. We consume alcohol to help us relax at home, at quiet celebrations, for not-so-quiet celebrations, to discuss business after business hours, and for occasional socializing at the end of a workday. It's our right, and we try to be responsible. Approximately 10 to 12% of us are predisposed to alcoholism, especially those of us with a family history of alcoholism. And as much as 25% of us consume alcohol inappropriately to hype up, relax, forget, remember, dull down, or speed up. Almost any reason will do. It's even in foodstuffs like cake and candy. It's the substance of choice. Why? Because it's readily available, legal if consumed in moderation, and somewhat socially acceptable. So, how much alcohol can we consume before we put our health at risk? Not before we're intoxicated or legally beyond our blood alcohol limit, but before we put our long-term health at risk. Well, there are health guidelines on exercise, cholesterol intake, even teeth cleaning. So why not health guidelines for alcohol consumption? First, let's define a drink as a beverage that contains 1/2 ounce of alcohol. For example, 12 ounces of beer, 4 ounces of wine, or 1 ounce of 100 proof spirits each contains 1/2 ounce of alcohol. Thus, 1/2 ounce of alcohol is 1/2 ounce of alcohol, whatever drink we consume. Now that we know what makes up 1/2 ounce of alcohol, with a little research we can develop a guideline. And a guideline is not a slogan. Remember, slogans do little more than warn us not to drink too much in the short term, primarily to avoid drunken driving incidents. The generally accepted 0, 1, 2, 4 guideline determines beforehand how many drinks we can consume on an hourly, daily, and weekly basis without increasing long-term risks of alcohol-related problems. Notice we didn't say without getting intoxicated. There's a big difference. 0 alcohol is the only choice at work. That's, of course, when we're on duty, could be called to duty, or when operating company equipment or on company property. 0, while on duty or when subject to duty, is also in accordance with Operation Red Block, which has been active at Union Pacific for decades. 0 is also the only choice when on medication or when you have an ailment, when behind the wheel of a vehicle, or engaged in other activities where concentration is essential to safety, such as hunting or boating. We should also avoid alcohol when stressed or tired. Women should avoid alcohol when expecting a child, considering pregnancy, or nursing. Zero or complete abstinence cannot be stressed enough when alcoholism runs in your family or when recovering from alcoholism or drug dependency. Now let's talk about the other three numbers in the guidelines. 1 refers to no more than 1 drink per hour. The body needs time to metabolize the alcohol. 2 refers to no more than 2 drinks per day for men or 1 drink per day for women. Equality issues aside, medical research shows because of body composition and hormonal differences, women metabolize alcohol differently than men. 4 refers to drinking no more than 4 days per week. No more than 4 days per week provides regular periods of abstinence to interrupt consistent alcohol consumption and reduce escalated use. A handy brochure is available to help us remember these simple guidelines. 0124 is important information. By outlining when, where, and how much, the 0124 responsible alcohol use formula provides us with definite limits when it comes to consuming alcohol.
Man, it's been a long, hard week. I'm going to stop, get a six-pack on the way home, kick back, relax. What's wrong with that?
Just don't drink the whole six-pack tonight. If you do, you are way over the 2 drinks per day guideline. Saving up drinks for the purpose of catching up on one occasion increases our long and short-term risks for experiencing alcohol-related consequences. The 0124 alcohol use recommendations are hourly, daily, and weekly limits. Because of this, saving up drinks is not an option. No more than 2 tonight. Remember, for the daily limit of 2, it's a use them or lose them proposition.
I'm meeting a few friends at the microbrewery for a couple of hours before dinner. 2 of their beers is enough.
And 2 may be too much. Many microbreweries are inconsistent in their brews' alcohol content. What's more, happy hour atmospheres often feature 16 or 22-ounce glasses. Do the math. 2 of those puts you well over the hourly and daily limits.
It's the 21st century. Us girls can keep up with the guys.
First, this is a health issue, not an equality issue. Current medical research suggests that women are more susceptible than men to the harmful effects of alcohol. Physical factors influencing this difference include body size, body composition, and body chemistry. The bottom line is this: in order to reduce the risk for problems, it is recommended that women who drink limit their consumption to no more than 1 standard drink per day.
I'm doing okay policing my own drinking. My guidelines are doing just fine.
Is experience the best teacher? Setting our own guidelines based on our perceived capacity is exactly what we shouldn't be doing. Alcohol clouds our perceptions, thus making us unreliable in our own judgments.
I don't drink, and I don't plan on starting.
Good for you. If you don't drink now, there is no good reason to start. The 0124 alcohol use formula is specifically designed to help those who do choose to drink decrease their risk for experiencing problems.
Friends and I drink a little bit. We don't see any problems.
If you choose to follow the 0124 recommendations at this point in your life, it is unlikely that you will ever experience a problem with alcohol. The beauty of this approach, it is entirely up to you and your friends.
I'm not hardcore. I only drink beer.
For years, beer has often been viewed as the drink of moderation. Remember, 1 12-ounce beer contains the same half ounce of alcohol as 4 ounces of wine or a 1-ounce shot of spirits. We cannot stress enough the importance of abstinence or 0 alcohol when at work, about to come to work, or if alcoholism runs in your family. One more important point. If you try to follow the 0124 guidelines and find that you cannot consistently do so, it is recommended that you consult your employee assistance program or an alcohol counselor. 0124. No more than 1 drink per hour, 2 drinks per day, 4 days per week. It's an easy guideline to remember. It's more than a slogan. Follow it and you reduce your risks.